ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome from myself as well. In the upcoming campaign, a lot of issues will be at stake and some tough but interesting questions will be asked. And our distinguished members of the panels that are coming up, we have 3 panels to speak to you in a couple of seconds, will address some of those very difficult questions. But first of all, let me explain to you that the questions that we will tackle right away are the questions that are coming from your audience, from your voters, and from the public. Very enthusiastic young people over there. Those are the e-campaigners. Those images were being shot at in the war rooms, the so-called war room in the EPP headquarters in Brussels. And those people have been collecting some of the interesting questions that we're going to address right away through social media, one of the important media tools that we have at our disposal these days. Let me introduce you to the first panel. First of all, I have Eva Majewski from Germany, running as a candidate in Berlin. She's chair of the European Democratic Students, the EPP's official student organization. Then we have Anne Hermans from Belgium. She's chairwoman of the ESCU with more than 1 million members. The ESCU is the biggest political body representative of senior citizens. And then Konstantinos Kyranakis, born in Luxembourg, but Greek in nationality, who is chairman of the JEP. Let's have a look at, and please take a seat, make yourself comfortable. Let's have a look at one of the first questions that came in the war room in Brussels, please.
Hi everyone, my name is Yuri. I'm from Germany, representing CDU at the EPP campaign team. We are very excited to share with you together the first time we're campaign. There are a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to read the first one right now. What will the EPP do so that young people don't carry that burden of today's generation? Thank you.
This question is about young people, but we have an older lady as well amongst us. And let me rephrase the question a little bit. We're talking about the future generation, but you can't talk about the future generation, in my opinion, without talking about the older generation. We're talking here about a very important issue of intergenerational solidarity. Now, Ms. Hermans, explain to us, how can we make sure that those people who created wealth, who worked all their lives and contributed to present society, how can we take care of them and at the same time make sure that future generations, those young people are representing, how can we make sure that future generations are not burdened with the debt and with excessive spending, as we call it today?
Yes, first of all, I would say I'm very glad that I can take part here in this little panel with those young people also, because that's indeed very, very important. And the phrasing of the question also is in the ears of older people not so nice, because from the beginning the problem is situated as a question of generation battle, generation gaps between older generation and younger generation. I think that we must have a new image, a dynamic image of older people also, that they have been working their whole life, but also when they are retired and when they are older, they like to stay in relation with the whole society and to take part of all parts of society. And they are working, they are volunteering, they are enjoying life and so on. So we must have a new image so that we can phrase, that we can put and highlight the problems of tomorrow in another way, so that we can share it from start on, that we can say, yes, young and old, that's our problem, how can we go on? And older people know very well.
Okay.
that-
Just a quick reaction from the young people. Are you agreeing with this? Eva?
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
speak up.
Yeah. We already had the discussions in the
You're very
working
close, I
groups.
saw. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at another question which is really into the heart of the matter of your problems, the problems of young people. Okay, I'm coming to Konstantinos. Obviously, you come from Greece, and obviously you have a lot of experience with countries in crisis and with young people who are really in a tough condition. What kind of concrete ideas does the YEP have to solve or to remediate the problem?
I think Europe in the next 5 years needs a realistic, down-to-earth plan for job creation. The youth of the EPP has a plan. We call it the three-step plan. It was also mentioned just before by a delegate during the discussion for the action program. And these 3 steps are tax incentives for job creators, a skill-based education, and zero bureaucracy for entrepreneurs. This plan, thanks to you and thanks to the support of EPP heads of state like the Taoiseach and the Kenny, is now part of the solution and helps creating tens of thousands of jobs in Ireland and elsewhere in Europe. But it's also, if you want my opinion, also a question of mentality. And if there's one thing that I learned from my Prime Minister in Greece, Antonis Samaras, is that if you want to achieve something in your life, you need to learn how to roll up your sleeves and work hard. We are the party of hardworking people. We should be the party of hardworking people, and we should teach this generation, our generation, not to expect everything from the state. Start up a company, take risks. Young people do not need guarantees. They need a space, and they need the state not to stand in their way with excessive taxation and job-killing bureaucracy.
Yes, I think, and I would say that yes, young people and employment is very, very important, but we can't focus only on young people. I think that today there is an enormous problem of older workers and the whole environment so very heavy to older workers that they like to go and take their pensions and so on. But I think that it is a huge responsibility to organize and to concentrate a lot of measures so that it is possible that people stay longer on their job and that there are also that it is possible to work and to go and to work part-time and so on. That's an enormous responsibility, not only for the government, but also for several actors in economic life.
Well, when Konstantinos was telling us that young people should also roll up their sleeves themselves, he spoke about entrepreneurship. Now, Eva, that is something that you're really looking into, how you can create an environment where politicians can create an environment where young people can go into entrepreneurship. What can you tell us about as a concrete idea?
That's one of the main points, and it's been mentioning it, labor must just become easier. We don't think the reason is more exceptions, either for the old or the young, but it must just become much easier to employ and to start up a company. And particularly looking into youth entrepreneurship, and this is what we have been doing, data is supporting us, because what you find is that those startups who are the most successful ones are not the ones founded by very old people with a lot of working experience, nor is it the ones founded by just graduates coming necessarily from university, but there's always some working experience that is required to successfully run a company. And this is why we believe that it's a topic for the young generation, where we can learn maybe from an internship that we did during our studies, than to start a company successfully. And this is why also we believe you need to increase mobility. So you do have Erasmus, of course, very well known, but you also have an Erasmus for entrepreneurs that needs to be implemented further and made use of further, so that knowledge and skills can be gained more easily. And we are also very highly in favor of the Master Loan Guarantee Scheme, because this is the young people that do believe into themselves. They are willing to take on financial risk. They are willing to take a loan to pursue their goal in life, to achieve something, study what they are passionate about, and then go out in the world and maybe start a company, or just, really do work for their own future. So it's a lot of just enabling people to believe into themselves, because we are a generation that's as well as educated as no generation ever before. And maybe bridging now back to...
That seems very important. I think you will do well in Berlin, by the way. You speak very well. Okay, just to summarize everything, 10 seconds to tell the audience why exactly they should go full ahead for young people and make a policy for young people. Konstantinos.
We don't think that young people deserve more attention than another generation. And we, as the youth of the EPP, our main responsibility is not to fight for our generation, but for the next one. And these are policies that are better for the next generation, not ours.
You know, media talking sound bites. You should learn to talk in sound bites. Eva.
For us, it's just failure shall not be fate. And it's okay to fail once, but maybe in the long run it's going to work out. So it's just to believe into the young generation.
The last reaction from Anne Hermans.
We want more chances and more equal chances for young people. Also because older people, they care for their children and grandchildren.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will accompany me in thanking Anne Hermans, Eva Majewski, and Konstantinos Kyriakis for their appreciated debating. Thank you.